Entering the summer of 2014, the Brazilian national team carried a resume of statistical dominance, 5 World Cup titles, and an active 62-match undefeated streak in competitive games on home soil. But hosting the tournament brought a heavy burden. In 1950, Brazil unexpectedly lost the final on their own turf to Uruguay. That defeat, the Maracanazo, lingered as a deep national wound, turning this new campaign into a battle against an old ghost. As the tournament progressed, the public's desire for a trophy morphed into a suffocating demand for historical redemption. Then, disaster struck in the quarterfinals. Forward Neymar suffered a fractured vertebra, and captain Thiago Silva accumulated too many yellow cards, ruling both out of the semifinal against Germany. Stripped of their tactical anchor and their most potent attacker, the team arrived at the Mineirão stadium leaning entirely on raw emotion to bridge the gap. The atmosphere in Belo Horizonte was fevered. During the national anthems, the stadium erupted in a desperate, highly charged chorus. On the pitch, stand-in captain David Luiz and goalkeeper Julio Cesar clutched Neymar's number 10 jersey, raising it tightly toward the sky. Holding a memorial for a living, recovering teammate revealed a squad completely consumed by their own emotional intensity. By making a teammate's absence the center of their pre-game preparation, Brazil had tethered their performance to a precarious emotional peak. The match began with a fast pace, but in the 11th minute, Thomas Müller escaped his marker to side-foot the opening goal for Germany. 12 minutes later, Miroslav Klose scored on a rebound. That strike broke the all-time World Cup scoring record, previously held by Brazil's own Ronaldo, dealing a sharp blow to the home crowd's morale. This timeline tracks the speed of the breakdown. Toni Kroos found the net in the 24th minute and scored again 69 seconds later. Expanding to the 29th minute reveals 4 goals scored inside a 6-minute window. The match was effectively over. On the field, the Brazilian midfield dissolved. Players like Fernandinho lost all tactical positioning, overwhelmed by the precise passing of the German squad. In the stands, the initial shock gave way to profound grief. Thousands of fans watched the scoreboard in silence, while others wept openly. Inside 30 minutes, the collective composure of the squad had simply evaporated, leaving 11 world-class professionals paralyzed by a shared state of shock. Inside the German dressing room at halftime, the atmosphere was chillingly calm. The players recognized the sheer scale of the tragedy unfolding for their opponents. Defender Mats Hummels and his teammates led it packed. They would maintain their focus, play seriously, and refrain from deliberately humiliating the broken Brazilian side. Returning to the pitch, the Germans executed their plan with cold precision. As they scored twice more, they cut out the theatrics, avoiding any jumping or screaming in their celebrations. The 7-1 final score equaled Brazil's worst-ever margin of defeat, etching a new term into the nation's history, the Mineirão. While the host nation crumbled under the weight of an old ghost, the German squad governed their empathy through strict discipline, playing entirely for one another. 5 days later, Germany faced the ultimate test of that rigorous discipline against Argentina in the final at the Maracanazo. Midway through the first half, German midfielder Christoph Kramer suffered a heavy collision. The impact wiped his memory of the game, forcing him to ask the referee if he was actually playing in the final. Losing a key player to a severe concussion added immense pressure against a relentless Argentine attack, led by Lionel Messi. Yet the German players did not panic. They adjusted their formation and maintained their rhythm, absorbing the shock as a single unit. Their strength lay in an unbreakable psychological tether, allowing the collective consciousness of the team to cover for the loss of any single individual. On the sidelines, manager Joachim Löw absorbed the stress of a scoreless final, processing the weight of leading a unified Germany toward a historical milestone. In the waning moments of regular time, Löw made a tactical substitution, bringing on forward Mario Götze to present a new psychological challenge to the Argentine defense. Before sending him onto the pitch, Löw pulled Götze aside and delivered a precise instruction: show the world you are better than Messi. That calculated push culminated in the 113th minute, when Götze controlled a cross and volleyed into the net to secure Germany's fourth World Cup. Where Brazil had tried to insulate themselves with the heat of raw emotion, Germany built a machine that remained cold, even as its individual parts were removed. In the highest stakes environment, survival comes not from screaming at the sky, but looking at the person next to you and executing the plan.